Today, Wheelhouse is proud to introduce model weights, an easier way to more precisely control your portfolio strategy. So first, let's define model weights. On Wheelhouse, model weights are new settings available to our customers to help them fine-tune your perfect pricing engine. And let's explore what we mean by the perfect pricing engine. First of all, pricing engines are models designed to help you predict the future. And all of these predictions are powered by weighting various data inputs. For example, you could design a pricing engine that was more weighted to the future to capture future demand and less so to acknowledge historic bookings, or the opposite. You could also design a pricing engine that more heavily weighted your comp set versus general market conditions. All these are possible, and there is no right answer. But in short, model weights massively impact pricing recommendation. And the question has to be, what is the right weighting? Well, it turns out there are many factors that impact the right weighting. For example, your location. If you're in a vacation destination, you might rightly want to value your past bookings more than future market signals. Then again, you have to consider current travel patterns. For example, during COVID, or say there was a massive flood or snowstorm, that might change conditions so much so that you need to look at the future booking patterns to really know how to price properly. Or what if you had a listing status that had a long booking history but was recently upgraded? That might be a property you want to start paying attention to the future more than the past. Today, pricing engines make these choices for you. However, at Wheelhouse, we'd ask the question, which is, what is the most important data point to consider when properly weighting a model? And we would answer, that is you. Today, we're putting our model weights in your control. We believe in your hands, model weights equal a new way to fine-tune control for your portfolio's pricing strategy, right? Say you have an owner who's eager to avoid risk. You may very well want to skew and listen to more of the past to create a strategy tied to prior booking patterns. What if you had a brand new listing that just launched yesterday? You'd probably want to weight the future. There's not a lot of past to listen to when discerning how you should price that property. What if you had a stay date that was very far in the future? Often we'll hear from customers that they want to weight the past booking performance for those far out dates. However, as a stay date approaches, you definitely want to be weighting the future a lot. The past doesn't really matter if you have an opening next week or even next month. So a ton can play into the right weighting. It might be your risk preferences. Do you want to try to book early or late? It might be the owner's risk preferences. You might want to heavily weight prior performance, or again, if you upgraded the property recently, you might want to really value recent performance. The inventory size matters, right? Larger homes and vacation destinations usually want to weight the past more. But if you're a one bedroom in an urban environment, you might be very attuned and want to be very attuned just to future booking performances. Time until stay date, we already covered how that might adjust how much you want to weight particular data signals. And supply and demand changes or any other macro trend might vastly determine how much or how little you want to listen to a particular data input. Now, you might be thinking this seems complicated, but let's make it really simple. Your pricing engine should be in your control, right? That's why we're giving you the model weights. Now, let's dive into Wheelhouse and see how easy and powerful this can be. Right now, I'm on the settings tab of an individual Wheelhouse listing. What you'll notice on the left side is we have model weights that are now exposed to you. So we have demand sensitivity, or how much we should listen to future demand patterns, and historical anchoring. Historical anchoring is the new model weight we're launching today. What this enables us to do is see how you were priced last year and use the price you booked at to help inform a more optimal pricing strategy for you. For example, let's say I set historical anchoring to 100%. This would ensure that Wheelhouse never goes below last year's booked price. Now, that could be a really good approach for the far future. But with historical anchoring, we also want to make it possible so as a stay date approaches, maybe you want to start listening more to the signal and market. So 90 days out, we'll lower price anchoring to 50, and 30 days out, we'll drop it actually just to 20%. What you'll see here in this stepped blue area is that Wheelhouse is basically listening to your historical bookings as much or as little as you want us to. Of course, you can customize this by specific dates like holidays, by day of week, by monthly rules as well. But you're able to use both of these model weightings to better control your pricing strategy. You can also in the far future do things such as perhaps you want to do one more time base rule where after 365 days, we increase pricing above booked rates by 10%. This would allow you to set next year's strategy slightly ahead of where you ended this year. And again, we're only setting a floor. Wheelhouse's pricing engine can still go above it. So historical anchoring is a really good protection for you and your perfect pricing strategy. And yes, while I'm doing this on the individual listing level, I can obviously click over to my portfolio tab where I can grab a lot of properties and adjust their historical anchoring at the same time. The release of model weights is yet another step in the direction of empowering your business. In 2021, Wheelhouse became the first pricing and revenue management platform to publish all of our pricing engine research. In 2022, after hearing from you all, we made it possible to use data or rule-based pricing on Wheelhouse. We called it hybrid pricing, but basically the goal was to put you in control. Last year, we launched in-context pricing. This is the ability to start to bring your comp set and other data into view with your pricing strategy, just to make sure you have more control. And model weights in 2024 is the first of many things we'll launch, again, with the goal of putting your team in control. The goal of all this, more transparency, more precision, more control. Wishing you well from Wheelhouse. Cheers.